3 nights, 3 empty rooms, 3 calls for help. Who is calling? Most nights on the med-surg floor are routine, lights low, monitors humming, nurses moving quietly from door to door. Near 3 a.m., the unit clerk watches the board flicker. Room 331 lights up as if someone pressed the call button. The charge nurse grabs a runner. They reach the door. It is locked. Security arrives, key turns, lights on. The bed is stripped, the handset is unplugged, the wall jack is empty. The call panel inside the room is dark. Nothing should be able to send a signal. Glitch, someone says, tired and certain. They clear the alert, file a maintenance ticket, try to forget about it. 10 minutes later, the overhead crackles. Code blue, rehab bed, 331. The hallway freezes. The charge nurse looks at the clerk. The board is glowing bright blue for the same room. They run back, same locked door, same empty room. This time the code light on the wall is shining. They shut it off in silence, then stand there a moment longer than they need to. No one wants to be the first to say what they are all thinking. Another night, another wing. Housekeeping finished a discharge room hours earlier. Sheets folded, surfaces wiped. On rounds, an aide notices the dome light above the door is on. Inside, the handset is coiled neatly. The call cord is not connected to anything. The outlet is capped. The panel outside keeps glowing. People start calling them ghost lights, half joke, half warning. Some staff laugh and keep walking. Others refuse to pass that stretch of hallway alone after midnight. Engineering takes it seriously. They open ceiling tiles, trace wires, check for moisture, test the board with a meter. No short, no corrosion, no fault they can prove. They swap a component, reboot the system, sign the ticket. The alerts keep coming. Never 2 nights in a row in the same spot. Often after 3 a.m., sometimes just a soft ding at the desk, sometimes the overhead that makes everyone sprint. More than once, the door is locked from the outside, lights are off, and when they step in, the room feels colder than the corridor. An ER nurse who responds to codes says the call for 331 hit while he was charting. He took the stairs 2 at a time. The supervisor caught him at the landing and said the bed was not assigned. Security opened the door. Dark room, empty floor, code light glowing on the wall like a watchful eye. They shut it off and stood in the doorway listening to their breath. The board still showed an active call for a few seconds after the light went out. No one could explain why. By now, the unit has an informal rule. No one walks that end hall alone at night. People report footsteps that stop when they turn around. A voice saying their name from a few feet behind them. A shadow sliding past the stairwell window. Skeptics call it fatigue, poor lighting, the way sound bounces on tile and glass. Even the skeptics take the long way if they can. Patterns creep in. Housekeeping says the air feels heavy near the rehab side after 3. Respiratory hears a monitor beep in a room with no monitor, twice in a week. The clerk starts glancing at the board a second before the ding, like she knows the light will bloom. Some nights nothing happens. Some nights there are 3 calls from rooms that were never assigned. Once, the desk printer spits a strip of paper with a timestamp and a bed number the floor no longer uses. Someone tapes it under the keyboard and says nothing. Could a cross-wired panel push a false signal? Yes. Could a damp connector trip a light? Yes. Could a code trigger without a button press? In theory, yes. But engineering has signed off more than once, and the alerts keep moving between rooms and wings. If it is a fault, it travels like a person. If it is a person, no one sees them. On a slow morning, a new hire asks an old charge nurse if the unit was always like this. The charge nurse opens a drawer and slides out a thin folder, paper soft from years of being handled. Inside, there is a photocopy of an incident log from a decade back. A night shift fire drill, one patient unaccounted for during the first sweep, later found safe on another unit. A note mentions the rehab corridor and a room number that does not exist after renovation. The number ends with 31. The clerk runs a finger over the laminated map taped to the desk. The old 431 is today's 331. The hallway is not the same. The walls moved, but the calls still know where to go. They try to keep explanations practical. Power fluctuations, legacy wiring, a board with a hairline crack. They try to keep routines tight. Test the panels at start of shift, document every alert, call engineering if the light does not clear. They try to keep jokes light. Do not answer if the room is not assigned. Do not turn your back to the stairwell window. Do not say you hear your name. On the 3rd week, the board flashes again. Different wing, another empty room. The charge nurse takes a breath, picks up the phone, and calls security before anyone runs. When the door opens, the room is dark and still, a faint hospital smell of cleaner and plastic. The code button is glowing steady red. A maintenance ticket sits on the bedside table, signed the morning before. Someone has drawn a small circle in blue pen around the timestamp. The time is 3:03 a.m. Hospitals explain a lot with forms and service calls. Some nights a call comes from a room that is not occupied, a code triggers where no one lies in a bed, and a locked door opens to empty sheets. You can call it a glitch. The night shift calls it something else. Inspired by real nurse testimonies about phantom calls from unoccupied rooms, locations and dates anonymized for privacy.